Hello and welcome to sewing Gustave. I'm not doing very much sewing. you can see the tea towel behind me. That's for the baguette. I'm gonna take in the t-shirt so that it fits better on my shoulders because it sits like way down here, so I'm gonna take that up. I'm gonna style the wig a little bit. It's kind of atrocious, but we work with what we got. And I am going to make the arm and the sword. So, take in t-shirt, make arm, make sword. And lucky for me, my wonderful friends Illustris Models printed their sword, gun, and the arm for me. The arm is not from them, but they did print it for me, which was really nice. So I've got all of those in boxes behind me, and I'm gonna sand, prime, paint until my arms fall off, I think. I'm only gonna spend today doing sanding and priming, and then painting will happen at some point. But that's what I'm gonna work on today. So let's jump into it. I fully didn't introduce myself or what I was doing in that whole intro. Hi, I'm Classy Pollux and I am making Gustave baguette version for Icon Photo Fest. That's what I'm doing here. Yeah, welcome to the video. I'm so glad that I wasn't in a rush at all whilst filming this and had plenty of time to do everything. I used Illustris Models prints for this, and I also followed their tutorials on how to make prints and how to put them together and assemble them, and it was actually so helpful. I feel like I aced this, I crushed it, and it's all thanks to them. I literally couldn't have done it without the little tutorial, and I thank them so much. If you need 3D prints, they're them, please, please. To assemble this sword, I used the expanding glue in the holes and then shoved the pieces together, and then used this epoxy glue to glue the pieces together at the top. And then I taped them to make sure that the glue dries and doesn't spread out all over the print. It kind of did a little bit, but this stopped it from doing it a lot more, I think. But I literally used the Illustris Models tutorial, or like instructions on how to assemble prints on their website, and it was very helpful. Highly recommend if you're making prints, because I had never done this before. I've been sanding for so long that I think my arms are gonna fall off, and I still have so much more to do. But all except one of the Gustave arm pieces have been sanded down enough that they're ready for prime, like enough for primer filler, and that's gonna happen tomorrow morning. And then whilst that dries, I still have safety goggles on. I will sand down the sword and the other piece, get those ready, and then prime them. And then more sanding before I can paint. My arms are so sore. But I think the longest part of sanding is over. Maybe. Depends how long the sword takes, I guess. Wish me good luck. But I'll be back here in the morning to do more sanding. The lines from the mask will forever be indented in my skin. Okay, I have done a teeny tiny bit of priming and sanding this morning, and I have filled in the sword gaps, and now I'm going to sand the sword and hope that it doesn't take me several years. I'm really hoping I can get the sword primed and prepped and maybe start painting it today, but that feels super ambitious considering how long it took me to do all of those pieces yesterday. However, some of those pieces were really tiny, so we'll see how I go. But I really want to get the sword done by tomorrow early afternoon so I can go drop it off to my friend who's going to drive it over on the boat. And also I really want to finish the other two costumes that I have to make. So getting as much of this sword done as I can today is the goal. And the arm. I'm a little stressed, but it's going to be totally fine and I'm going to have time to do everything. Okay, so let's just sand this sword and hope that it goes well. To sand all of these pieces, I also followed some Illustris Models instructions on how to sand, because I'd never really sanded anything before. I used a bunch of different grits, starting at the lower grit and moving my way up to the higher grit. That pot over there is for wet sanding, which I used 400 grit, and this made it so easy to do. And everything turned out so nice, and it was really great. Everything was smooth. The tutorial, highly recommend. They were so helpful to me. This feels like an advertisement for Illustris Models, but they're just my friends. They're not paying me to say nice things about them. Also, sanding all of these teeny tiny Gustave prints was literally the worst thing ever. My hands hurt after doing it, my arms hurt, everything hurt. It was a long process, but it does look really good in the end, so it's so worth it to make sure you're sanding everything nicely. However, painful. painful. Why does sanding hurt? Should I have gotten a sanding thing? Probably, but I didn't. I didn't do that. I spent all of this time. The sword would have been way faster if I had like a little sanding tool, but I don't. I was using my hands. Also, why did I show this angle? This posture is bad. Also, that little mobile in the corner is for hanging the little finger pieces from. So these prints have been sanded for 2 days. My wrists are so sore. My shoulders are so sore. I want to lay on the floor and never get back up. But there is still work to be done. So it's like 10 PM right now, and it has been a long day. So I'm gonna leave these here and prime them tomorrow and then paint them tomorrow, and fingers crossed I get them done in time. Can't go in and check back because I fear it will get broken, so it does have to go to Patchett tomorrow because he leaves on Wednesday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I leave on Thursday, and I have so much stuff to do. So tomorrow, in between coats drying, I'm gonna do a bunch of other things and hope that I can get just so much stuff done. Fingers crossed for me, but I really do think that I can do it as long as this stuff is all done tomorrow. Let's go rest up for tonight and be back here early in the morning to prime and paint these. Spraying all of the pieces with primer filler recommended to me by, you guessed it, Illustris models. The nozzle on this, greatest thing ever. I will literally never go back. If they ever stop making this primer filler, I will cry because it's so beautiful to use. And I'll be upset if they stop making it because it was actually perfect. It was so easy to sand. It was so nice. It worked really well with Plasti Dip. I think I primed it with Plasti Dip. It was perfect. It was great. It was everything. I loved it. This sword is looking so good. I hope nothing bad happens to it. That would be crazy. Good morning. Gustave has been primed and now I'm waiting for it to dry. So whilst I do that, I'm going to work on some other sewing things. So I'll see you back here once the sword is dry. Devastatingly, the sword got run over, but I can fix it. It's just here is cracked. And this part has been squashed, and then there's a little bit of damage in these bits, and this seam kind of tore open a little bit. So I'm gonna sand some of it back and use gap filler to fix it. The pommel's gonna look different because it is not unsquashable, but I'm gonna try and make them look as even as possible. I spent too long on this sword to just give up on it, so I'm gonna try and get it done. Despite everything. Oh god, something so bad happened to it. Yep, it got run over and I fixed it. Because I'm incredible and amazing and I never give up, and sometimes cosplay you have little accidents. Maybe not everyone will have something run over by a car. However, this prop held up. This shit stayed together. Excellent job, thank you Illustris models. Will not die completely if it gets run over by a car, so... Okay, last night I finished the sword and everything's okay. I didn't film it because my camera ran out of space, and then I just didn't want to set it back up because I was locked in. So I'm gonna paint all of the arm pieces right now and then attach them together and hope that I have plenty of time to do all of that. Hoping that it only takes me until 12 o'clock, so that's 2.5 hours. So... Anyway, back to the hand pieces. I used a glossy black spray paint on all of these pieces. However, glossy black, not great for painting on top of. So I went back over with acrylic just to add an extra base for it to stick. Yeah, I don't know why I did the glossy black. It was evil. Nothing stuck to it. Everything just ran straight off. Don't use glossy black if you're gonna paint over it with acrylic, okay? Don't be silly like me. Or don't use specifically the glossy black that I used. Insert picture here. This gold paint that I'm using, I actually mixed with a separate warmer gold paint so that it would be a nicer color because the other gold was too cool, so I made it warmer. Anyway. I did the cool marbling effect on this print by using a white pencil. I tried painting it, but I have very unsteady hands and it looked uneven and messy, so I used a white pencil and that stuck perfectly. And then once I put the primer over the top, it doesn't rub off, but it does make the pencil a little bit fainter, which kind of added some extra depth to the marble effect, and I really loved how this whole thing turned out. And it was so easy and cheap, I used a white pencil. It's crazy. Cosplay is crazy. I can't believe that this worked, actually. And it took way less time than painting would have. So if you're doing Gustave, highly recommend using a pencil for this. Worked out great for me. The black acrylic paint in all of these clips looks a little bit rough and a little bit bad. However, once I sprayed it with the sealant over the top, you don't notice that at all. It looks smooth and neat. It took me so long to figure out how to put all of these pieces together, but I did end up just using a little bit of contact cement and a little bit of elastic to glue the little fingy bits together so they're all attached and not separate little fingy bits. Yeah, that's what I did. The rest of the pieces are attached with a little bit of Velcro and a little bit of elastic to make sure they stay onto my arm and they're easy to get on and off. I wish that I'd scaled this print down because everything is really massive on my arm, but maybe I'll remake it one day, who knows. Feel insane. This beard is so funny, however I think it'll look fine for photos. Look at the arm though. Oh, it's really cool. It's huge on my hand. But this is fun, and I'm gonna go to the shoot now and grab my baguette and my sword, and it'll be great. So yeah. I only have one hand, so my shoes aren't tied. I love how everything came out for Gustave. The arm is so cool, it looks so great. It is just really massive on me, so I do wish that I did scale it down, but the paint job is fantastic, I'm obsessed with it. The sword, despite everything, turned out really good. I love the paint job, I love how it looks. I think that it looks really cool and is very true to the game, despite it getting run over and crushed a little bit. So yeah, I think I did a great job. The next time I wear Gustave, I'll have a better wig and maybe my real beard or a fake beard because this did not work. I did not like the drawn on beard. It wasn't very good, but I had to do it last minute because I did order some stuff and it didn't arrive in time for this. So that's really sad, but next time I will have that. I also ran out of time to take in the shirt, which I'm really sad about because I think it would have looked a lot better if the fit was better on the shirt, but what can you do? So future me is going to take in the shirt and also make a pair of pants because I don't like how these pants are for the Get Gustave. So yeah, new pants taken shirt. And that's the end of the video. I want to thank you all so much for watching and checking this out. I'm trying to upload weekly, but it's not really working out, so stick around for more cosplay stuff, some other sewing stuff, and check me out on Instagram where I post all of my photos. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye!